In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace a hood hinge on an Infiniti G35. All the parts and tools that I'm going to use in this video are going to be in the description below. And you can see I got my replacement hinge right here. This is for the passenger side. And if yours is like mine, you may have noticed some scuffing or scraping of the hood or of the fender. You can see there was some inadvertent, after this hinge failed, there's some scratching here and then some rust, but we're going to take care of that. We want to tape this up because we're going to be bending this fender back. We don't want anything to get scratched. So get some big, nice masking tape. We also want to tape against the fender by the door. You also want to tape up this spot. Okay, now that we got everything taped up, what we're going to do is start taking the bolts off. Starting with this one. This is what's holding, one of the ones that's holding the fender piece on. It is a 10mm. I had to open my door a little bit so I could get my wrench in there. But this should come off pretty easily. The next bolt we're going to get to is right here. This is also a 10mm. We just took off this bolt. The next one we're going to do is right here, but we got to get this plastic piece out of the way so we can get access to this bolt. How you get one of these guys off? Get your flathead screwdriver, pop off the top like that, and then you should be able to pull the whole thing out. Don't try to pull off this part without having this popped up first. Okay, if you have a longer 10mm, I believe you can bend this enough to get this on there. If not, you'll have to take off more of the... There we go. So that's on there. I can get my drive on there. Alright, so they're on there. Lift this up. You're getting it off. Getting the last bit by hand. Sorry about the camera angle. There we go. This one is gone. Now we can work on this. And this one. I'm going to take these off. These are actually 12s, these last two ones. Now that we have all those bolts off, we can carefully pull back the fender. See how that's moving? I'm looking to make sure it's not scratching anything. But we're going to need a 12mm to get these two bolts down here and these two bolts up here. I had the fender pulled back. Let's get this first bolt. Got it on there. Oh, don't do that. Okay, now I got my 12mm bolt back. I had to go fishing for it. Let's try this again. So if I pull back the fender, that will reveal the second bolt. Alright, let's get this second bolt out. Okay. Good. Now we got that guy out for that. And here our broken hinge will come out. Next we're going to get these two bolts right here. They are also 12mm. Make sure you have a good grip on your hood when you do this. Let's get the second one. You can get rid of the top of that rubber thing if you have a rubber piece. the other half. Okay, let's put the new hinge in. Make sure you get it at a good angle. And you can see where it goes, right over those little holes. Let's get our bolts. Alright. I'm going to tighten these down, but not hand tighten them. I'm sorry, I'm going to hand tighten them, but I'm not going to crank them down, so I can make any final adjustments to the hood. Alright, make sure you have a good grip. Get your fingers over here underneath the hood. And let's get this lined up. Okay. And tighten these bolts on there. You can see how it's hitting the first latch, sort of the safety latch. That's going to work. But this is a little too far forward, so we got to move that back a little bit. Yeah, we got to move that back just slightly so it can catch in the middle. It's going to miss it and hit it to the back of this guy right here. So it needs to move backwards. All right, in order to move this back, I loosen these guys up. And watch this. I'm just going to move this back just a little bit, and then we'll tighten that up. Alright, let's see how we did. We moved it back. It's striking more in the middle on the safety latch, and the main latch seems to be good. Let's try it out. If you could see that in there. That one is catching in a good location. And this looks like it's gonna work. Let's try it. Yep, that was good. So we'll just tighten all those bolts back up and put everything back together. Make sure these are tight. Okay, those are tight. Check our fenders. There we go. And tight. One last thing that I'm going to recommend that I've heard from other people is to grease up this joint down in here to reduce some of the tension. I'm using this multi-purpose grease, but you could use a white lithium grease. Again, I'll put that in the description, a link to something. But just want to get in here, grease this sucker up. That should be good. Now we'll just put everything back together, and hopefully you've followed along. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be happy to answer them. Thanks for watching.